So hello and welcome to Conversations with Esther tonight, 13th of August 2025. I hope you've been well. We can go to the chat and just put an emoji there. How are you feeling? How is your week going? Let me see as we kick off. And James, how are you feeling? Anthony, how are you? Beatrice, Christine. You can react down there. How are you feeling? Anthony is good. Thank you. Anne. Highest job hunting mood. That's good. I'm looking at them. Let's engage there as we kick off now. Good, Onesimus, thank you. Allow me to, JCV, Smiley. Allow me to pray and we can kick off. Hello, doing good, Zach? That's okay. Father, in Jesus' name, we thank you as we begin this session. We ask that you would lead us and guide us in Jesus' name. Amen. What is that on the screen? I don't know what came up. Okay, so I think that was just a whiteboard. So allow me to share, maybe for those that are joining us for the very first time, just an intro on who we are and what we do. So for Conversations with Esther, I know some of you are joining us for the very first time. This session is our fireside chat, which is held every Wednesday, 7 to 8 p.m. So karibu sana. Conversations with Esther is an impact-driven professional platform that informs, educates, and rebuilds mindsets on matters work, organizational culture, and holistic wellness. Now, we ignite ethical and authentic leadership, promoting best practice within industries. Conversations with Esther equips the workplace with relevant legal, human resource, and holistic wellness skills through training, motivational talks, end-to-end HR consultancy support, and mentorship programs. Now, guided by our three values, integrity, excellence, and impact, we envision a workplace transformed by professional conversations, respectable relationships, and intentional leadership. Now, we focus greatly on your wellness, focusing on the 7 pillars of wellness: physical wellness, mental wellness, financial wellness, and that also touches your relationship with money. And I know that speaks to why we are here today. Social wellness, spiritual wellness, environmental and intellectual wellness. Now, which of these pillars are you excelling in? I know we have grown in a system that asks you which one are you not excelling in. Go to the chat. Just maybe tell us which of these pillars, your physical wellness, which is your exercise, your diet, your sleep patterns, which ones are you excelling in? Your mental health, are you taking care of your mental wellness? What are you doing about your mental health? Which one are you excelling in? Being self-aware, just understanding your surroundings, your financial wellness, your relationship with money. Are you telling your money where to go, or are you wondering where it went? Your social wellness, are you spending time with people in social circles? Are you networking? Your spiritual wellness, whatever faith you subscribe to. Your environment, and it's not just tree planting, it's also how your environment looks like, your house, your office. Your intellectual wellness, what are you doing about building yourself? Studies, even online sessions, what are you doing? So which ones are you excelling in? Physical, mental, financial, social, spiritual, environmental, and intellectual. Feel free to send in whichever you think you're excelling in, which includes also your feeding habits, your sleep. Are you sleeping well? Are you resting? Which ones are you excelling in? So this is just a sneak preview of what we do also for wellness. We help you also in indoor and outdoor games. We go for hikes. We have art therapy. We do quite a lot. So keep your eyes on our social media pages and let's connect. Your wellness is your responsibility. Your wellness is your responsibility. So create time for yourself and invest in yourself. And that said, this is our calendar for the year. We have done up to July. Actually, what you see here on the screen now is what we had in July, which was a hike at the Ngong Hills. So 30th of August, we are facing our fears with daring activities. Then in September, we do the movie and bowling. October, we have mental health awareness event. And we close the year with the dinner awards and wellness champions. Now, for 30th of August, I'll be showing you what we are doing so that you book and you mark your calendars. Now, to join our wellness community, you scan the QR code. I will send this in the chat as we go on. So keep your eyes on the chat box. I will send this QR code there so that you can join our wellness community and you'll be able to see what we do, be with us, and also be informed about our training, our wellness events, and what we are doing. So talking about 30th of August, here we go. This is our activity for 30th of August. Please pick your phone, book your calendar, block your date. We will be facing our fears with daring activities. Now, we will be going to Sitam Kadolta. Sitam Kadolta is in Kiserian from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now, Sitam Kadolta has zip line. I know there are people who told me, Esther, hiyo kitu. I have tried, sijaweza. But this time, you will do it. I also had never done it. I did it actually last month. Yes, last month for the very first time. It's an amazing thing to do. That which you fear. So there's zip line, there's sky bikes, there's archery, there's high rope, scary bridge, there's a swimming pool. And you can also just decide you will just join us and have fun, watch the rest and also have your me time, you know? So our charges are only 3,500 and this 3,500 includes 2 activities of your choice. You can choose to do zip line and scary bridge, or you can decide to be in the pool the whole day and high rope. Whatever you choose, those 2 activities will be covered in that. That will also include your lunch and it will include private transport. I hope we are clear. So that 3,500 covers 2 activities, covers your lunch at Sitam Kadolta, and also covers your transport 2-way in a private bus. That's very clear. So the pay bill number is there. I will also post this in the chat so that you can also save it. Now listen to this. Have you ever heard of exposure therapy? Exposure therapy is a psychological treatment that was developed to help people confront their fears. When people are fearful of something, they tend to avoid the feared objects, activities, or situations. Now, those who avoid the water, I am one of them. So that day I will be in the pool, number 1. So that one I am getting insight there. So no one is perfect. So we are coming to face our fears. So also, the exposure therapy helps break the pattern of avoidance and fear. A psychologist may recommend exposure therapy by creating a safe environment in which to expose individuals to the things they fear and avoid. Now, the exposure to the feared objects, activities, or situations in a safe environment helps reduce fear and decrease avoidance. So let's meet at Sitam. Mark the date. Make time for yourself. We make time for everyone else and forget ourselves. So this is a date with yourself, and it's a date to face your fears. So the pay bill number is there, account number is there. It will read Career Route Solutions. Career Route Solutions is our recruitment firm, is our HR consultancy firm. So karibu sana. So we go to the business of the day. How to locate jobs in Kenya and beyond. Now, I have my very good friend Jay in the room. I have worked with Jay and worked with Jay in different assignments. And I want to say this as Jay comes up, that I am a HR consultant. I do recruitment, but you will hardly find me advertising jobs. But Jay will advertise jobs on our behalf. So Jay is the right person to tell you where the jobs are. So many people are recruiting, but they may not be advertising directly. I actually only send Jay a text. I am looking for 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the job location. This is the amount the client is paying. Give me the right CVs. So that's sometimes how jobs don't show up in other spaces. Jay will be open to tell you that. So job search in itself is a job in itself. And I know this too well. People have actually tired, Jay can tell us, people do this as a full-time job. I mean, job searching is a full-time job by itself. We all admit that the process of job searching, application, and interviewing can be time-consuming and demanding and emotionally taxing, similar to a full-time job. Wondering where to find legit jobs that match your skills and competencies. Now, there's no better person to take us through this session than Jay Walemba. Jay is competent. He has the jobs. He will work on your CV. He will work on your LinkedIn, and he will help you position yourself. And I know, Jay, many people may not know that you also do job placements locally and internationally. So we have the right person. Karibu sana, Jay. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Esther, for that introduction. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you're joining us from. My name is Walemba J. I'm the CEO and founder of JCVs. I know JCVs is an organization that focuses on enhancing employability prospects of job seekers. And as Jay, a trained employability expert by the International Labour Organization, the ILO. So I have 7 years experience in this field, and I'm sure that this conversation is a conversation that I'm so much delighted to host this evening. And it is a conversation that is very key to all of us. You know, when we talk about job search, we are talking about something that you cannot escape. It is something that we must go through. It's a way that we must go through for us to be able to get to the other side. And as many of job seekers here, some of us get tired so easily. But why do we get tired? So that is what I'll be talking about this evening. Allow me to share my screen, and I'm sure we'll have several questions coming up for related to this presentation. So make sure you have your questions ready. you can share them in the chat section. Esther will be I will be giving them to me as I do the presentation. I think you can be able to see my screen. Esther, are we good? Yeah, so thank you. So now the topic is locating jobs in Kenya and beyond. So I'll start by an introduction, just talking about why is job search needs a strategy. And for you to be able to even get noticed by any company, you must apply these strategies that you're going to talk about this evening. So you need to understand that there are several hidden job. The hidden job market exists. So you need to understand that most of the jobs are never applied. And as Esther has just said before she welcomed me, that is something that you need to note. And when you look at it in terms of data, it is at around 60 to 70% of the jobs will never be advertised. These jobs will be gotten through networks and even referrals. So make sure that you creating the right network and you're working with the right people and you're being very intentional when you're in these networks. Then number two thing you need to understand is that competition is high. So random applications will not work. I know you've seen people that are mismatching their careers with the jobs that are advertised. You are a teacher, you're applying for a customer service job. You are an accountant, you're applying for an admin job. All these now will not work because you're making random applications. And I always tell job seekers that job search is a journey that need dedication, need consistency, and it also need you to be very serious with what you want and what you're looking at. Then strategic job search saves time and improves success rates. When you now have a clear strategy on how you're going to do this, it will make sure that it saves our time and it increases our success rate. So we can be able to, for me, I always tell any job seeker that once you have a job that you meet the qualifications, the least you should get from that job is an interview. And I know how we can be able to do this so that you can achieve that. Then local and global job markets require different approaches. The requirements for a job, I always tell people that for those of us that do our CVs with ChatGPT, AI, one of the mistakes we make is that we do this and we don't Kenyanize or have the JD written in a language that is favorable to any specific country. When you look at a CV for the US market, it's totally different. You're looking at a CV for the Middle East market, totally different from the Kenyan market. So how are you able to customize your CV to be able to fit that specific market? I'll be talking about that as well this evening. So define your job size, your job target clearly. One thing you need to do is that you need to narrow down, be specific with the job titles that you're looking at. You need to narrow down to a few roles that match your skills and experience instead of applying to everything. I know I have groups that I run and can see some of the guys in those groups are in this call. And you will I will advertise a position there and you'll reach out to me and I'll advise you, tell you that you don't qualify for this position or this position is not aligned to your career. And most people agree with that. Why are they doing that? Because most of us are desperate, and when you are desperate, you just now go for anything. You should be looking at a career that can give that when you talk about 2-3 years from now, should be able to give you a clear growth path. And most of us do not think about the career growth. We only think about paying our bills at that time. And once you pay your bill, you will remember that you had a career when you are hitting 40 years of age and you're still applying for roles with your son, with your daughter. So at that point, you'll now start being depressed. So let's be very serious with the job search journey. And even as we narrow down on the roles that match our skills, we should be able as well to look at what is the next goal in terms of in the short-term and long-term goals. Then identify your target industries. Now, when you look at most adverts, you'll see that if it's an advert in the FGM industry, they are talking about we are looking for a sales rep with 2-3 years experience in the FMCG industry, FMCG industry. We are looking for a salesperson with the experience in the service industry. Why do recruiters do this? Even in the HR field, even in the accounting field, people will talk about looking for someone in that specific industry. Why do they do this? So as you focus on the specific industries that you want to target, as you are targeting, start now looking at what skills are needed in that specific industry. Then as you narrow down, you can be able now to upskill to be able to meet the requirements of that industry. So targeting specific industries, there are some industries like, let's say, service industry, maybe the hospitality industry. Some of the things that accountants will do in the manufacturing industry are totally different. There's something different from the hospitality industry. So that's why recruiters are looking for specific people from that industry, unless you are an intern, so that they can be able, they don't have to teach them to learn on the job. What they just do is just get in and settle and start working. So targeting specific industries will help you as well grow your career. Then choose preferred locations. I've heard people talk about I'm looking for a job. Even on LinkedIn, you'll see LinkedIn when you're looking, you're highlighting specific areas that you, specific careers that you're looking for. LinkedIn will ask you the locations that you are keen on. If it's Nairobi, if it's Africa, if it's South Africa, all that information is available on that. So as you start looking at that specific job that you want, decide if you want to work locally, regionally, globally, or even remotely, so that now you, based on your life, you can now fulfill this based on your lifestyle and other personal considerations. So especially when you're looking at remote jobs, you can be able to work from the comfort of your home. And that is something that I've seen several people moving that direction. Then align the job that you're looking for with your strengths. So match your unique or extra skills, experience, and values with the demands of your chosen roles. Now, I always tell people that one thing is that most of us individually, we do not know our core values. How many of us have core values? You can just write in the chat section. How many of us have core values? And if you have core values, which are your core values? You can write in the chat section. We'll be going through that later. So most of us do not have even core values. So even as you look for this job, make sure that it aligns with your skills, experience, and then the core values, the individual core values, so that they can be able to enjoy the role that you are targeting. Then create a job target list. Keep working on a list of companies, locations, and roles that you're focusing your search to avoid wasted effort. And the other thing that we do not do as job seekers, most of us do not keep a log of our job application. I always advise that when you start making applications, have a notebook or just keep a log, even digitally. Have a log. I've applied for customer service role at company A. I've applied for HR and assistant admin, HR admin assistant role for company B. I've applied for an accountant role company C. So that when you get invites, communication from these companies, you don't now call Jay to ask him if he advertised for a position 3 months ago, or you advertised for a position, similar position 2 months ago. I might not have that information at the back of my mind because I'm not applying and might not keep that record. Then set realistic entry points. This is key because identify most practical roles that you can qualify for. You can't have 2 years experience and applying for a CEO position. Yeah. Now, always make sure that you plan, you have an entry point, and then you can be able to grow to achieve that dream job. So identifying the entry point is very key, as it's used as a stepping stone to your dream job. So make sure that you are very keen. And when most of us are asked about why are you taking this job, even though it's not in your field, most of us will lack answers. And the most common answer will be that I'm paying, it's helping me pay my bills. And that is not a good answer to any job seeker. That shows that you're desperate and you might not have a clear career goal. And I know most of us, Setting clear career goals is the biggest problem that we have, and that's why we end up at 7 years experience not realizing your career path. You only realize that you had a career once you lose this job. Then the other thing we need to do is we need to do a market analysis. So both global and local markets. And how do you need to do this? Number one thing, you need to focus on areas where you can experience optimum growth. When I talk about having a clear career path, this basically means that your career path should be able to guide your growth. You should be looking, when you look at, and that's why you see in most companies are looking at people that understand what they want. And that's why you always have the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And most of us will tell us that I want to be the CEO of this company. So you want to make sure that Jay lives before you become the CEO. Then others will tell us that I want to grow in my career and hold a managerial position in the next 5 years, or I want to work on my career growth and maybe go back to school and do a master's in the next 5 years. So all those are answers. But now some will tell us that want to open my own company. Still a good answer. But what if someone was to ask you, is it a clear career goal that you have that can help you achieve that growth? So make sure that you identify areas that you can grow. Then map opportunity spots. Find out which locations or markets have the highest concentration of openings in your field. There are positions that, for example, if you're in the NGO world or the international relations world field, in most cases, you'll find that these people are working in hardship areas. If you apply for such opportunities in Dadaab, in Kakuma, you'll find them more easily than you'll find similar jobs in Nairobi. Yeah. So identify areas where there's a highest concentration of those roles, and then be able to make that application. Then understand the salary and benefit trends in that field. So you need to compare the compensation data across regions to set realistic expectations and improve negotiation readiness. I know most of us, why we are working, if we asked 10 people, about 8 of them will tell you that they're moving to this job because of salary. That is all a very clear reason why we're working as well. So you need to be able to look at the position. Even as you're choosing, you're doing a market analysis and choosing the specific career path that you want to take, you need as well to do enough research on the competition in that area, in that field, so that even as you set you move towards that career, you are setting realistic expectations in terms of payment, in terms of even planning your growth, in terms of planning your maybe upskilling and even going back to school to be able to improve on that specific skill. So make sure you understand that those benefits. Then the study market entry requirements. Now, you might want to move or even transition from us to another field, or just in your field, and you like, for example, those people in HR, those people in accounting. In HR, we have the CHRP now, which is becoming a common requirement for the HR professionals. So, for example, if you're looking at the entry requirements, and then you find that most of the jobs that are being advertised, someone with the CHRP has an added advantage. So that is the certification that you need to start working on. Yeah. Or if they need any experience in that specific field, but you've not gotten any opportunity to even work as an intern, you can as well think about volunteering, so that you can be able to gain the skills within 3-6 months. You can be able to have the experience that is needed, and then start making those applications. So studying entry requirements is key, as it will help you understand how you can be able to align yourself to the job market. Then track emerging opportunities. Now, we've seen that with the market trends, we've seen that there are other roles that are coming up. I can see in HR, we have the HR analyst role that is coming up because of the data related issues. Then we have the chief happiness officer, which is a role that is coming. Maybe in the next 5 to 10 years, it will be a common role. I've seen roles that are looking for accountants that are data analysts as well. Accounting and data analysis officer is a role that is coming up as well. So even as you look at the emerging opportunities, you need to be able to understand that this is where the market is headed, and you need to be able to as well upskill and even move with the trends. We've seen issues to do with AI, and automation roles are coming up as well. So we need to be able to be adaptable even to the market trends, so that we don't have to be left or declared redundant in our roles. Then key job site channels and strategies. Where do we get these positions? Where do we get these positions? Number one thing is the online job portals, where we have LinkedIn. There are reputable sites with advanced filters to get relevant opportunities local and abroad. You can do that through LinkedIn. You can do that through Indeed, which is also a good platform. You can do that locally. We have Fuzu, we have Brighter Monday, we have My Job Mark, where you are able to Fuzu and Brighter Monday, you are able to develop your profile, and through that profile you can be able to even apply for roles that you fit. Then professional networking platforms. We have LinkedIn, where you connect with the recruiters, join groups and showcase your expertise. LinkedIn, just as WhatsApp has groups and forums for specific professionals. If you're in the HR space, if you're in the procurement space, there are groups for everyone in this field. So make sure that you are able to join these platforms and then contribute. We don't just create a profile on LinkedIn just to update our new our certifications, and then maybe most of us will update when you are getting a new role, where you'll see Jay Walemba got a new role at JCVs, and people will comment. Then after that, you go underwater. Then you reappear when you're getting a new role. Jay has gotten a job with the conversation with the Esther. That's when I post. Now you need to be able to engage people on these platforms. And when you're talking about connecting with recruiters, you need to look at people who are posting most of these, or some of the roles. When they are posted by specific companies, you will see that there's a contact person there. Connect with these contact people. And then one thing that we need to be sure of is that when you tell someone that I've applied for a position in your organization, it's easy for them to look at your CV and even be able to shortlist you. But where you're advertising for a position, last week, I advertised for a position for a customer service receptionist for a gym. And what I got was I advertised it in the evening, and in the morning I had 719 applications. Will I be able to go through all the applications? Definitely no. If you go through 30 applications, you have the 10 candidates that you want to interview. And out of the other 700 and 690 people, you might not be able to go through their CVs. So how does networking help you at this point? So someone, if you applied for this position, maybe you feel that you've applied late, you call someone in that organization, tell them, you engage them and tell them that, hey, my name is so-and-so, I've applied for a position, for the advertised position in your organization. Kindly, I will appreciate if I'm able to get shortlisted, and then maybe come for get an interview to prove myself. So networking is key, and you should be able to use those networking tools to your advantage. There are several things that you can do with the networking tools that can really help us showcase our expertise, even by posting. Then company career pages, monitor target employers' websites for direct application and opportunities. For example, if you look at the UN website, you'll always find opportunities on the UN website. So how often do we do that? What other companies are you looking at? If they are looking at other companies that you really want to work for, then you can create notifications with those companies. Like, for example, Safaricom, you can create your profile and then be notified anytime there are such positions. If you are following companies like, I can see companies like, we have companies that are coming up and they keep posting their roles. MSF, Switzerland will always post their adverts. Mostly on Mondays, they'll always post their adverts. Yeah. on LinkedIn. So you need to identify how the companies are doing in terms of posting the adverts and where the adverts are posted, and be able to follow those. Then we have the recruitment agencies, partner with agencies that specialize in your field, your location, or in an employability for tailored placements. Now we have, when you talk about recruitment agencies, we have several, especially locally, we have several recruitment agencies that you can register your profiles with. JCVs being one of them. We have Skills Geographic, we have Manpower, you have Career Management Center, we have Career Route, which is run by Conversation with Esther. So make sure that you are able to work with these agencies and ensure that as you work with the agencies, they are trusted agencies. When you go to the National Employment Authority website, you'll find several agencies that are working on global recruitment as well. So they are registered with the National Employment Authority, and in case there's anything that you feel is fishy, you can always reach out to National Employment Authority and ask for clarification. But for them, they have registered agencies that can help you secure placements abroad. Then networking and referrals. This is the biggest area where most placements are done. I think for those that have my numbers, you've seen me post almost every other day. I'm posting roles on my status. Legal assistant. I'm posting drivers. I'm posting marketing executives. All those roles are roles that people reach out to me for referrals, and I always make sure that I deliver. So I look through my network and I'm able to share profiles based on what they're looking at. So these roles are never advertised, and this is the biggest chunk of all of roles that are available. So make sure you create the right networks. If within your network there's nobody that can recommend you for a job, or if within your network there's nobody that can refer you to an opportunity, then you are in the wrong network. You need to work on your network, and then with networking, we don't need to make mistakes, because that is where most of us have gotten jobs. So make sure that you are able to do this. And even as for us people in business, we work with the referrals. Referrals is what now keeps us going in the business. Some of us might not advertise the services, some of the services that we offer, but through referrals for what we've done for other people, we are able to get that business. So make sure that the network and referrals is a key component of your job search journey. So tailoring your applications for different markets, jobs and markets. Now, so number one thing you need to do, you need to tailor your CV and resume to each role being applied for, especially when you're applying for different, even if it's the same role. For example, you are an accountant, you're applying for an accounting position in company A, you might not be able to use the same CV that you used to apply for company B. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because the requirements for company A, or the needs that they want this accountant to come and solve, might be totally different from what company B is looking for. And so you'll find that there are some requirements that company A is looking for that are different from company B. So that's why we insist on you tailoring your job application or your resume to be able to apply for any job. So have those skills added. If a skill was missing in your CV, have that skill added. Whether they are soft skills or technical skills, have them added in your CV, so that now you can be able, and most companies are doing now, are using the ATS system. And I think we understand now what the ATS system means. Now, most of the job seekers will find that I see some of job seekers post on LinkedIn. They are blaming the HR that you had someone, you did this interview just for formality. You had someone that you had your relatives or your friends to give those opportunities. It's a very common post on LinkedIn. And one thing that I'm happy about is that the ATS system now is very neutral. So the ATS system is picking keywords from your CV. So it's up to you now to be able, and most companies have adopted the ATS system. So it's up to you now to be able to outline your keywords on that CV and be able to meet to meet the score that is required, which is now, in most cases, companies have set it at 80%. So because they have set it at 80%, you should be able to meet that 80% and even move to the next level of that recruitment. So make sure that you use keywords from the job description, especially for ATS compliance. Now, when you look at some of the positions, especially bigger companies, you need just to know that bigger companies, especially the international NGOs, international companies, most of them are using the ATS system. So make sure that your CV clicks with that, even before you make that application. And there are several tools online that can help you understand if your CV is ATS compliant, even before you send that. And as you do this, make sure that if you have any experience other than internship, you are able to highlight achievements in that position. You've held a position for 2-3 years without achievements, that is a lie. Make sure that you are able to highlight achievements and then quantify on that CV. When you look at the US CVs, they are looking at 3 to 5 responsibilities, but 5 statements on your CV, and they should all be quantified. Received 100 calls on daily basis, and I was able to solve 20 complaints on each each shift. So talk about quantify all this. If you're applying to the Middle East as well, make sure that your CV as your photo based on the role as well, and then be able as well to quantify some of the achievements that you have in that CV. The cover letter should be compelling and connected to the employer's needs. So when you look at the job advert, companies are looking for problem solvers. So are you coming to solve any problem in our organization? And if it's yes, what problem are you coming to solve? So align that as you write your cover letter, be the problem solver that you're looking for, not just someone who's coming to be a liability to the organization. Also note that different countries may require you to use different CV templates. Research online to find out the appropriate template for specific regions. In most cases, you'll find that most countries are looking at 2 pages maximum, and even you'll find that the Middle East, especially for the cabin crew, they're looking at 1 page. So you need to be able to align your CV to research and understand the template that is used for specific regions and specific countries. Even as you apply for this position, you should be able now to at least get that interview. So the other thing is leveraging technology in your job search journey. So how do you do this? So data-driven networking. Now, when you look at LinkedIn, we have used LinkedIn's people also viewed and mutual connection features to target high-value contacts. Now, when you open the network button on your LinkedIn, it will show you that when you start searching for people, it will tell you on the right side that people also viewed this person. So these are the high value connections on that LinkedIn. And now you need to target such connections. On LinkedIn, you always say that don't connect for quantity, connect for quality. There are some people that you'll connect with, and unless you are in business, that's where you are connecting with everyone. But if you are job seeking, you need to connect with quality connections, people that can add value to your career, people that can be your mentor, people that can be your connections that you can meet in events and even refer you to opportunities. You are an accountant, but you are connecting with someone that is selling selling fish online. You might not have that relevant in terms of what they are bringing to your career. Digital branding tools. So leverage tools like Canva, personal websites, and portfolio platforms to create a strong professional image. Now, how many of us are able to? How many of us have a professional profiles? I know most of us will say that professional profiles are for people that are looking for senior roles, maybe consultancy. How many of us are looking for have professional profiles? You can as well in the chat section. Professional profiles are very key, even as aside from your CV. And there are jobs that will ask for professional profiles, especially where they're looking for board members. And board members can even be people under 25 years, because I've seen some organizations do that. So how many of us are able to, when you go to your Google, how many of us are able to search their names and find that someone can find details about them? Yeah, not many of us are able to do that because we've always kept our brands silent. So be able to leverage on available sites. uh, Google is one of them. If you go to Google and search Jay Walemba, it will give you all details about Jay Walemba and even tell you where Jay is working and what services Jay is offering. So that is should be the person that we are looking at. Then virtual career events and webinars. Attend targeted online events to connect with recruiters, learn market trends, and showcase expertise. Next month, I'm organizing an event where I'll have people, an expert talk about cruise ship jobs. And these are, most of us will want cruise ship jobs, but do we know where we can go to get these opportunities? Yeah. So if you hear about such events, you should be able to attend these events and learn what is needed. Because I've had people that have done their CVs and they're working in the United Arab Emirates, especially in the cabin crew industry. And most of them, they hold virtual events just to tell people what they are looking for in terms, what those companies are looking for in terms of requirements, in terms of how you should be able to respond to questions during interviews, and how you should package yourself even as you make those applications. Those are things that you should really need to look at, especially when you identify your career path. Then ATS compliance. They use AI-powered job platforms that recommend roles based on your skills, career goals, and experience. This helps in tailoring your CV to the job description. And even as you use the AI to tailor these CVs, you should be able as well to humanize that content so that now the ATS system as well does not pick it as AI done. Have that human touch. And it makes sense because what you're looking at are the keywords. So place those keywords in a way that they make relevant even to those statements that you have. So how can you be able to overcome the job search challenges? This is key. Number one, you need to be very, very, very persistent. Build mental resilience by treating rejection as feedback and refining your approach. I always advise, and it's been proven that when you're looking for an opportunity, you should not make more than 5 applications without feedback. Any serious job seeker, once you make 5 applications, especially where the ATS is concerned, you should not make more than 5 applications unsuccessfully. The least you should do are 3. If you do 3 unsuccessful, then it means the 4th application should give you an interview. And that's why you are talking about having targeted career positions, that roles that you're looking at. Don't just apply randomly. If you apply randomly, then your persistence might lead you into depression. Then adaptability. Identify and close skills gap by upskilling in areas that boost your employability. If they are looking at for someone that has any event planning skills, any softwares, maybe software like Canva, make sure that that is a software that you need to work on. If most of the adverts are talking about someone with the data analysis experience or data analysis certification, do it. There are several organizations that are offering these. We have ALX, we have Allison, we have Udemy that are offering these skills. So make sure you get those your up skills so you can be able to boost your employability in that area. Then being strategic, prevent job search burnout by setting clear career goals and working in line with them. How many of us have goals when it comes to job search? Yeah. Do we have goals when it comes to job search? If we do, then we need to you need to write to me in the chat and see what goals you have that are making you succeed and other people not succeed. Someone might learn from, 1 or 2 people might benefit from that. Then have a support system. This is also one thing that most of us do not have. How many of us have mentors, coaches, or even peer groups to stay that can help you stay motivated in your job search journey? How many of us will tell their friends or their peers that have applied for this position and I'm hoping to for the best? How many of us will ask their peers that I have been applying for jobs, 50 jobs with no feedback. What can I do next? So if you have such kind of people within, your group, then you are lucky, because that is what we need for us to be able even to succeed in this journey. And as Esther said from the start, even when you look at the caption on the on this poster, we are talking about job search being a job itself. It's the hardest job any job seeker will face, and it's a job that we must go through for us to be able to settle. Yeah. The conclusion is this: you need to know yourself to target the right roles. That is very key. Know yourself and target the right roles. Then network strategically to access hidden opportunities. As we've said, that hidden opportunities are hidden in the networks we have and then the referrals. If you tell me that I'm looking for a job as an accountant, and then someone calls me the next day telling me that, hey, Jay, I'm looking for an accountant. Will you have any CVs with me? I'll always remember that someone told me that they're looking for an accounting job, and I can refer them for this opportunity. So tailor your applications, track progress, and keep improving. And always make sure as well you keep track of your applications. Even have a log. Ensure that today I've applied for 3 positions, company A, B, C. And for those of us that are applying for jobs just before deadline, you might not succeed in this journey, especially where a job position is being done by a recruitment firm. And that is what is happening with most of the recruitment firms. Recruitment firms will hire based on the urgency for that position. If they advertise for a position today and the deadline is on Friday, today being a Wednesday and deadline being Friday, they'll start shortlisting even tomorrow because they already have CVs in their databases. I have a platform that I run, and I think we are at 7.9K followers. With that 7.9K followers, if I post an advert for a receptionist, I'm sure within 30 minutes, I'll have more than 100 applications. So why should I wait till Friday if I already have the applications? So make sure you apply for a position immediately you see it. For those of us that like telling us that you ask them for their CVs and you keep telling us that nimeacha CV nyumbani kwa laptop nyumbani, I'll be able to share it later. You might not be able to succeed in this journey. So make sure that you have your CV. Anytime someone asks for it, you share it. Then stay resilient and adaptable. Thank you so much. I'll welcome any questions that maybe you have for me. Esther, asante sana. I think I can stop there.
Thank you, Jay. And I have sent a comment there. I know some people in this call are recruiting. We are 64. Possibly someone is looking for a job. And please go to Jay's channel, WhatsApp channel for jobs. The ones that we are recruiting for are there. Some of the ones that we have open are there. So apply there. So Jay will do our shortlisting and send us the other candidate, the few that we need. Now I'm looking at this. Owen says, Owen, hi. I want to be a CEO like Jay and Esther. So Jay, advise Owen how he can prepare himself to be a CEO like you.
Now, that's a good question, Owen. Now, it takes sacrifice as well. You know, you can be a CEO where you are self-employed. You can be a CEO where you are employed. So when you're looking at being a CEO where you are self-employed, it means that you should be able to identify your niche. Why do you want to move into self-employment? And as you move into self-employment, what resources are needed for you to be there? And even looking at your goals, how do you want to, what is your goal for you to get into self-employment? Even as you get into self-employment, what will it benefit the community? Is it something that do you want to be a CEO where you're giving people opportunities to work in your organization? So the first thing you need to identify is the goal. What is the goal for you being in self-employment or becoming a CEO? then the other thing, what resources are needed. So once you understand the area, and even as you look at, I think when you look at what Testa is doing and what JCVs are doing is, you look at my area, my niche, you will find that it's a bit, it's something that is very unique. Doing something that's totally different from what most people are doing. And so it's a gap that I saw. For me, it's a gap that I saw. And when I saw this gap, I decided that by then I had just lost my job. And when I lost my job, I saw the trouble the job seekers go through. So it was, for me, it was a time that I saw this gap. And when I saw this gap, I decided that why not bridge this gap? So that's how I ended up here. And my main goal is just to impact the community and even change the world we are in, so that I can be able to support. I know I used to see several people that were very qualified, but they're having them brand themselves for that potential employer to see them was something that they were not able to do. So I came in to bridge that gap, and I think my goal was just to impact. And even for those people that knew me before I started JCVs, I used to help people get jobs even without working on their CVs or doing anything. I just used to do that, and it's something that I really enjoyed because I was creating a community whereby people can rely on others, people can be able to benefit from the connection that they have. And I just, it's for me satisfaction. My satisfaction was that someone has gotten a job through me. I've never asked for money from anyone that I've helped get a job. For me, I do it because it's my passion. So if it's passion, Owen, it will take you places. And if it's not passion, it's just a business, then you need to have a clear goal on the same.
Wow, good. Owen, I saw you want to be like Jay and myself. Now, I think we need a whole day to share our journey because it's a day at a time. I started as a salesperson with all my legal background. I keep telling Jay, I was selling, was it membership cards for a certain hotel in Westlands, somewhere in Farid, moved into a HRM. And where I saw the gap, like Jay says, was I think, when you work in organizations where policies and processes are just on paper, when things are not done the way they should be done. So I said, no, enough is enough. I think I can use my legal and HR skills to seal a certain gap. So jumped into self-employment on and off. Sometimes business doesn't make sense. Let's be real. You jump back into employment and gather some shillings and come back into self-employment. And finally, here we are. So it's a journey. It's a day at a time. I keep saying there's a lesson you learn in employment that you will need as a CEO, so that you also get to understand how businesses are run and how people are managed and what you need to do and what you do not need to do as CEO. So it's a journey, and you'll get there. You'll get there. So the next one is Zach. Zach says, I was employed as an HR intern last year, but unfortunately, after starting to work there, I realized it's not really HR related work. It's completely different. I'm still working there just because of sustainability, but still I'm looking for a position or internship entry level. But in my CV, I can't write I have 1 year experience in HR. It's becoming hectic for me. No wonder I have applied lots of positions, but not getting one. Advice, please. Jay?
Now, one thing is that in most companies, you'll find that interns, you'll find that you're playing the number 6 role. And when I talk about the number 6 role, I mean that you're playing a general role. Sometimes you might find yourself in the kitchen. The other day, you find yourself as a messenger. The other day, you find yourself as a receptionist, which for me, to some point, might be okay because you're gaining all this experience. but you need to be clear in terms of asking the person. They have given you a contract. What does the contract say? So you need to be clear in terms of even talking to the HR and asking them about your scope, so that they can redefine. If they redefine your scope as not being in HR, then as well you need now to make a decision based on that. But what I will advise is that as much as you are in different department, because you're not doing HR related roles, make sure that you befriend the people in HR so that you can be able to learn from that. And you having been an intern from last year, we are in August last year to date. That is, if I'm assuming that is December, then you are almost at 9 months. That is too long in that organization as an intern and doing something that is not HR related. One thing that I can tell Zach is that Zach, maybe you can just talk to me after the session tomorrow. I have shared my number on the screen. What I've come to learn is that we have very few boy child in the HR space, so I can be able to help you get a placement in HR. So talk to me tomorrow during office hours. But if you find yourself in such a situation, any other person, if you find yourself in such a situation, make sure, being an intern, you can still look for other opportunity in an organization that will value you. So for me, as an intern, you can move. And when you talk about expenses, we understand that there are expenses that need to be met, but make sure you are aligning your career as well. So what you do with your career, especially now, when you find yourself there for the next 3 years, you might not be able to get back to your career.
So Mwende says, but let's be realistic, Jay. Most corporates, especially government, does not look at ATS. It's who knows who, and we all know that.
Now, how many? My simple question would be: what percentage of the population is employed by the government? Yeah, and there are people that have never applied for positions in government. So the bigger chunk of job seekers are not applying for jobs in government, and in government as well. Sometimes we find that as well we still align the CVs to fit the ATS system, even though there's that who knows who theory. But I believe that for you, doing your best and even just praying to God about it is something. There are people that have gotten jobs in government without knowing anyone, and I know several of them. So even as you apply for a position, one thing you should remember that you should always put God first. So do your best, let God do the rest. But a bigger number of us do not apply for jobs in the government. So that's why for me, I will always insist that you tailor your CV to be able to fit that. Yeah.
Carol says, kindly advise how can someone intentionally network if you don't have a good or strong network? Secondly, also advise what I should do better. I always make my applications, get shortlisted for interviews, but getting the offer has become a nightmare. Thank you.
Now, Caroline, that is a good question, especially the first one, where you're talking about networking intentionally, and where even when you don't have a strong network. At the start of this webinar, Esther talked about an event that is happening on 30th. At JCVs, we have an event that is happening on this Saturday at Arboretum. Now, sometimes you might not find Esther at your kibanda ukomta. You might not find Esther on the street walking. You might want to meet Esther, but you have to invest something for you to be able to meet Esther. Now, what I'm simply saying is that look at the events, look at the target network that you're looking for. If you're looking for networks, maybe for the HR professionals or the accountant professionals, look at the events being done by accountants. Go for those events. You might have to part with some few coins for you to be able to create that network. So start by going for these free events. There are even free events. You will find that there are groups of people that are organizing for walks in Karura. We've done that severally on, I think, on 3 occasions with Esther here and a group of several professionals. Last month, Esther went to Gong Hill with a group of over 30 people. So, and the only thing you are supposed to pay was entry fee and I think some snacks. So look at such events. And for us as JCVs, we always advertise our events in the channel. Esther has a group as well where they advertise these events. Some of the events are free. So go for these free events. If you feel that you might not have the financial muscle, attend these events and be able to network with these people. So a network, you might not have a network from the people that you maybe you schooled with. A network, you'll need diverse people so that you can be able to create, to benefit fully out of that network. Then secondly was advice on what I should do better. Now, one thing as a job seeker, what you do is, as JCVs, what you do is we always ensure that the first thing, when you are creating a CV, you want your CV to be able to help you get an interview. So your CV has no problem at this point. The second thing is that now you're getting once you get an interview, getting this offer becomes a nightmare. Now, the biggest problem you might have is how you respond to interview questions. Either you don't do well in your interviews or you overquote the salary. So you need to work on your interview skills. Make sure you do mock interviews, enough mock interviews even before you go for interviews. Then the other thing, do enough research about the role. If it's something that might be keeping you out of the position, might be maybe you overquoting the salary. So work on do enough research about the organization and then the salary in that profession, in that field. You can compare with other people in the same industry. If it's hospitality, if it's manufacturing, compare with other people in that industry, and then be able to match it with your value, what you feel that you bring on board. Then as well, consider, are you currently working or not working? If you're currently working, consider the benefits that you might have to live for you to be able to take this other opportunity. So, Carol, work on your interview skills. That might be the reason why you are not going past the interviews.
I know our time is far much gone, but it's okay. I think we can answer the questions I see. Do you have any links tailored specifically for accounting jobs? If any, please share the link.
Our link is general.
Okay. And it's been shared up there. I saw Owen share that. Please check that and join the channel for the jobs. How do you know what field you are good at so that you're able to set clear long-term career goals?
That's a good question. Now, I'm sure everyone in the call has at least a course to start with. Now, you've done accounting, and you'll find yourself you're doing sales very well. So one thing that most of us do not realize is that sometimes talent pays more than our career. So Rosalind, what you need to do, you need to understand your interest. What areas are your interests in? So once you understand your interests, and some interests might be developed through the hobbies that we do. Maybe you love traveling, you love cooking, you might develop a career from that. But based on the career that you've had at university or college level, that career should be able to be a starting point for you. What you did at school might determine what you might be good at if you don't have hobbies or areas of interest that you want to focus on. So once you realize your niche, that I'm good at ABC, based now on your interest or what you studied at school. Once you realize that, now you can be able to set long-term goals. Where do I want to see myself in the next 2 years? Now, you start with before you set long-term goals, you need to set short-term goals. For example, I'm in the HR space. My short-term goal would be that I want to be a HR. I want to work for my short-term goal would be that I want to work for Safaricom. Now, what I need to do is to start looking at adverts at Safaricom. What are they looking at for in HR? Now, when you look at Safaricom, Safaricom has different departments. For those that have been keen maybe on the jobs that posting at Safaricom, you'll find that Safaricom has a technical recruiter. Safaricom has a talent manager. Safaricom has the what you call capability manager. Safaricom has an employee relations manager. So Safaricom has trained a learning and development manager. Now Safaricom has different departments in the HR. So I then, when you look at now, looking at Safaricom, what are you looking at? What specific area are you looking at in Safaricom? If you are to get to Safaricom, are you looking at capability management? Are you looking at talent management? Are you looking at learning and development? So once you identify the area that you're looking at now, you start focusing, looking at the adverts, and then focusing on how you can be able to meet those requirements for that opportunity. So the short-term goal will be you want to meet the minimum requirement for that position in that organization. Then the long-term goal will be that once you meet these long-term goals and then you get to the organization, what do you want to be in the next 5 years? So are you looking at now growing in that company or moving again in another company? Sometimes you'll find that there are companies that are specific in terms of picking specific talent from specific companies. You find that company A is looking at JCVs for it to have a specific talent, then they pick that talent. So now you need to identify such companies, and you can do this by looking at the profiles of people working in those companies. For example, someone worked at Cellulant and they have been picked by this organization. You'll find that Cellulant is picking mostly people from the banking sector. So you work in the banking sector and you're looking to work at Cellulant. Then you need to start looking at if it's easier getting in the banking sector before I get to Cellulant. Then you need to start the short-term goal should be you get in the bank, and then you can be able to work on getting to the to Cellulant.
Great. Mary is asking, how can I get to work online? I am good in drafting policies and writing academic research proposals.
Now, one thing about online is that this is an area that most people are focused on. Maybe you can get a free training from ALX. You can text me. I'll share the contact of someone from ALX that can guide you on that. So you need as fast as well to have that training. Once you have that training to work as a virtual assistant or related for remote jobs, then you can be able now to brand yourself. Now, brand yourself online. Tell people what you are able to do. So branding yourself online will mean now, especially on LinkedIn, and then you can as well start running your own group where people can be able to reach out to you. So you need to brand yourself well. As an individual, brand yourself well, and then let people know what you're doing. So the best way you can do this is start on LinkedIn, but get a certification on the same so that you can be competitive in the market.
Good. And I also tell you, Mary, most consultants will work with other consultants. You see, if I have very many assignments, sometimes what I do is that I also pick consultants, and they will deliver the assignment on my behalf, and I'll pay them. So link yourself with consultants that are doing policies and maybe those that also do academic research. When I have several trainings, sometimes I will send some consultants, and so will Jay do the same. Other colleagues of ours will do the same. So attach yourself to the right people, and you'll be able to get some assignments. Collins, how do you go about looking for attachment opportunities, especially since you don't have enough, or I think he's asking when you don't have enough experience?
One thing to start with is that with the attachment, you don't need experience for you to get opportunities, but still gauge it back to your network. Have networks that can help you get these opportunities. Nowadays getting even an attachment internship is tough. Unlike Kitambo, where we used to get these opportunities freely and companies will even come looking for you. But nowadays it's become a tough thing. So what you need to do, Collins, start networking. From networks, you can be able to get these opportunities. And I love the fact that I've been able to network with, I've been a mentor at KU, the KU accounting students, and a mentor as well at JQuat HR students, and it becomes so easy for them because now I always expose them to networking opportunities where we have events where they can be able to come and network with people. I always tell them that this is an opportunity for you to sell yourself, sell your skills, and I've seen several of them. Even currently at JCVs, we have one of the students working as an attaché at JCVs. So I believe that how you are able to create these networks will be key. I have two that are working with the HRM PEB. So it's how you are able to create the networks. So I will advise that you start creating networks even while still at school, even from the first year. Go out and network. Sometimes you might, especially where you have events that are free. And some of the students reach out to me when I'm organizing events and they tell me that, hello, Jay, I'm so and so, I'm a student at this school. I would like to volunteer in this event, maybe on the registration desk. So we give them these opportunities so that it can be able to get as much as exposure as possible. And through that, they get someone that can give them those opportunities to network.
Okay, great. Doreen says job hunting is something I have been there since 2020 and nothing is coming through. I have given up on it, now thinking on survival tactics. Pole sana, pole Doreen, but let Jay also speak to it. Can be very draining emotionally, psychologically. Yeah. Jay?
I know that, and I think Doreen as well. There's my number on the screen. Reach out to me tomorrow. We can start. We can walk this journey together. I'll support you get something, but don't give up. Just don't say that you've given up on it. Let's have a discussion and see what mistakes you've been making all along. We can correct those mistakes and be able to rise up again.
Thank you, Jay, for that. It takes courage for someone to speak out, and it can be very frustrating. It's 5 years down the road. It shall be well, Doreen. Shall be well. Martha says, have a notebook. I think it's just feedback. I love this. During screening of CV, you reach out, but feedback is, when did I apply? I hear you, Martha. I know. HR have seen this many times. Jay, you want to say something?
I know what Martha is saying, and I know most job seekers, you'll call them and they'll ask you when they applied for that position. And I know, most of them get adverts from my channel, and what they reach out to me asking me whether I posted a job from a certain company. Then you are like, now you are the person that applied for this position. So what will mean is that have a log just to track your applications, and then identify the positions you applied for and even the organization, so that when you call for an interview, it helps even in preparation.
Absolutely. Senya, is in negotiating salary, how does one go about it? Yes, Glassdoor helps at times, but some organizations still don't confirm due to high salary demands.
Now, one thing that I would like to, especially where you have the issue of salary is an issue that most of us have not asked in terms of responding to it. One thing is that if you are working, you need to understand your value as an individual. If you are working, if you are not working, then you can be able to take a salary that is available so that maybe you can gain experience. But what I will advise is that on doing research, start with looking at the industry. Narrow down to a specific industry. Don't ask an accountant in the manufacturing sector what they're earning. So, and even looking at the industry, you need to look at companies at that stature. You can't compare Brookside and a company that is a startup in the industry. So if it's a startup, look at other startups. Now, another thing that you need to do, you can as well check on salaries on LinkedIn. Look at the people that have worked in those companies and maybe left a year or two earlier, so that now you can have that conversation with them. And then, but for me, I will advise that each of us is in a group where now they have several similar professions. For example, you're in an accountants group. It's very easy for you to get that information from that group, where you're asking about a specific industry, and someone can be able to give even a range. So enough research about the salary should guide you to do this. Glassdoor gives information, but for me, I don't think it's very accurate. Sometimes it's not good.
Good, and I'll also say this. I think when you go for an interview, it's an opportunity to sign yourself, just to tell them what you're bringing to the table, what changes you're going to make. And I have there are organizations that would disclose the package, others don't. I recommend that organizations, because by the time they are hiring, they know what the budget is. And as HR professionals in the room, I know we've been accused of, like hiding that card. Sometimes when we do not disclose and we reduce the pay, it looks like we are saving an organization money. But at the end of the day, it becomes a very expensive affair, because if Owen is worth 100,000 and I try to push him down to save the organization 20K, so I give him 80, shortly, Owen will find someone who pays him for what he is worth. And so the recruitment process will start again. So it becomes an expensive affair. So it's just important to say, this is what we have. When I give Jay positions, I say the job is located here, and this is what my client is paying. So it also saves me time, so that by the time Jay is giving me CVs, he's giving me people that can accept that kind of a pay. So I think it's just important that we learn to disclose, because when you shortlist, you also shortlist competent people. So Owen says, as much as people know others, I tend to believe it's what you believe as an individual. If you believe that you can get a job without knowing someone, it will happen. From my own experience, that's Jay. I have never been assisted to get an opportunity. God worked for me in the applications I make, and I do my best in the applications. That's true. You can't know people in every place. I think you just also need, you can know people, but you may not know the craft. So when you get your hands on the deck, it's going to be messy. So you might as well lose your job, even if you know the person that took you there, if you're not able to deliver. Eric, I'm Eric, a computer engineer with diploma from City and Guilds. Now my issue is in the course of job hunting. I found myself in a transport company where I was assigned to the workshop department and allocated to tires. Until now, I've become so knowledgeable to tires, and searching for my job-related field is becoming too difficult for me, because my experience in tires is awesome. Where and how can I get tires-related jobs that can get use of my computer-related career? I really love computers. Okay. I think he's asking where he can get a job that is aligned to what he did. Yeah.
Now, maybe from the question is looking at where can he get a similar job like what he's doing currently. Now, as much as he was allocated to tires, there's a specific title that he holds for this position. Is it about being in for stock, or is it about inventory? If there must be a title, yeah. And now we need to understand this title. So once we understand the title, then you can be able to advise. So it's for assuming it's something related to stock control or inventory or even stores, then he can use his computer-related skills in terms of managing the stock. But I'll want to really know the title that he holds now.
Yeah, sure. Titus asks, I work with the government, but I'm feeling overcrowded with a lot, and I cannot find my time to chase my passion. I'm feeling like changing my career path.
You'll find that most people say that when you go to government, you have enough time for your passion and hobbies. Is it not so, Esther? That's what we most of us believe, that in government tulikuwa tunaambiwa you just unaingia una sign in unaacha koti utarudia jioni. Now that's Jackie. Now Titus, one thing is that are you getting fulfillment in your career? Now there are several things apart from now being we are looking at mental health, mental wellness in your career. We are looking at fulfillment. You're just loving what you're doing. If you're not getting fulfillment and it's as well affecting your mental wellness, then you need to. Is it a reason of you being uh, given more tasks than you should be given, or what is it in terms of what is it that is of you being overcrowded? So if you need to identify what is the cause of this, is it because maybe there is understaffing in that organization, in that department, so that you can have a conversation. If it's in terms of understaffing, you can have a conversation with your supervisor. But if you're planning to transition to another career, changing your career, then as well you need to prepare in time. By preparing in time, and you need to identify the career that you want to move into as well, to transition to. Then once you identify the career that you want to transition to, you need to look at the qualifications and skills that are expertise required for that career, so that even as you move, you can have a smooth transition. But before you do that, I will advise that you have a discussion. If it's you being given more duties than you should be getting, then you can have a discussion with your supervisor. So if it's understaffing, it can be sorted even before you make that shift. And then as you make a shift as well, you need to be sure that the career that you're moving into will be able to meet, to fulfill your desires as an individual in terms of just enjoying that career, and also be able to give you enough time for your mental wellness or work-life balance.
Good. It's 8:33. Eric says, your network is your net worth. Absolutely. That statement, Eric, is a whole day's conversation. But I agree. Owen says job seekers can check UN volunteers website and Inspira for opportunities. Thank you, Owen. I think this one for Doreen, we have handled that. She will reach out. Wow, I'm trying to finish up this one. Rosalind says, how do you know what field you're good at? I think we had asked for, you answered this one, Jay, right?
Yes.
Mary, working online, I think it's just a repeat. Thank you, Esther and Jay, for what you're doing. Thank you. Keep on assisting and giving hope. Be blessed abundantly. You're a blessing to many. Thank you, Mary. God bless you too. Anthony, how can one set up a professional LinkedIn profile? I think that one, Jay, will help you, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anthony, you can have that conversation.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
And I know, Titus, your hand is up. Or I don't know. on the comment section, but I had seen a hand up. I don't know whether it went down. There was someone who was calling themselves the iPhone. I don't know whether that was meant to be a question. I know someone who was asking Jay today before the session began about, let me see if she's still on the call. She might, yeah, she was asking about CV revamp. So maybe you can answer that at the end as let me first check this one for Caro. Caro says salary issues seem to be a hard discussion with most hiring managers. Can they just give a range? If they say the range is, for example, 100 to 150, does it mean the real pay is just 100? Jay, you can answer that, and also
Yes,
maybe
nah,
speak
yes,
to salary CV revamp. Sorry.
Now, when they talk about 100 to 150, in most cases they are basing it on experience. So someone might have high experience, might go to 150, and also based on your view as an individual, on your bargaining power. What are you bringing on board? So that's where now we talk about you being able to defend yourself and talking about um, more of your achievements and what you bring on board in terms of the impact you'll have on this company, rather than just talking about the responsibilities. So 10 to 100 to 150 will mean might mean that you might get 150, you might get 100, but based on how you are able to bargain.
This is not ending. I've seen something else. Should I see? Address something on regret emails. They keep us hopefully anxious. Why is it hard for HRMs to share them after interviews?
Now, this is a question that is always coming up. One thing with job seekers is that we are looking for closure. You go for an interview and you'll see the panel nodding and you feel that hii nayo nimepata. So you just go home hopeful. And some of us even forget doing more applications. Unaachana na application, you see a job that you really fit well, but you're saying that because hey, kama niliwabamba, I might get this opportunity. So as a job seeker, I always say that never ever stop applying for jobs because you thought that you are the best candidate. There are other 9 or 10 candidates that have gone for the same interview with you, and there's someone that maybe performed better than you did. So always, as much as you're looking for closure in any job, always keep applying. The HRs in some organizations might be overwhelmed, or it might just be a culture of an organization not to respond to emails. Yeah. So for me, I believe that you as an individual take this as a challenge on your side. You've gone for an interview, you're done, you feel you did well, it's very okay. Keep on applying. So don't wait for that regret email. In most cases, you'll find that the regret emails are generic. There's no specific feedback to you as an individual. So even if you get these regret emails, you might as well reach out as well to get specific, customized or personalized feedback to you so that you can be able to improve in your next interview. And also, it depends how you engage these interviewers. You might engage the interviewers, and this is why we advise that for you to be unique and even for that person to respond to you, make sure that you do now thank you note after the interview. So it's easier for you to keep the conversation going when you're doing you've done a thank you note. Now it will make you stand out from other job seekers. So having the conversation going becomes so easy because now the interviewer can easily relate with you. And sometimes you might go for an interview, you communicating, maybe you need this customized feedback, but the interviewer might not be able to identify you. So identify yourself even in the thank you note and say that then you can even highlight a specific area during the interview where you felt that it really aligned with you or related with you, so that now the recruiter can be able to relate with you.
I think we're done. We have gone way past time. I think we haven't done this in a long time. but I know this is a much needed conversation. We are live on YouTube, so you can check this out and many other sessions that we have done previously on Conversations with Esther Katiba. You can also reach out to me on LinkedIn, Esther Katiba. Look for Jay Walemba on LinkedIn. We respond to conversations even on LinkedIn because we want to grow you. We want to help you in this walk. So Jay, parting shot, possibly as we close.
Now, what I want to tell our audience tonight is that job search is a journey, and it's a journey that you should never give up. Persistence will help you go a long way. Create networks. And some of us, you see us on these chats, these calls, are people that might have a great impact in your careers. So make sure that you connect with us and let us walk the journey with you. Join these events, network, and be very intentional. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you for listening to me. I wish you a blessed night and success in your career journey.
You. Thank you too. See you all at Sitam Kadalta on 30th of August. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's meet there. Let's network. You get to meet people like Jay and many others that you can network with. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Thank you. God bless you. Have a good night. Let's keep in touch. Thank you, Jay.
Karibu, bye. Good night.